The founding father of the modern revival of Krishna consciousness movement, Srila Bhakti Vinoda Thakur, in his monumental book, Sri Chaitanya Shikshamrita, describes the demons Krishna killed in his Vrindavan pastimes and the anarthas they represent.
First reason for Krishna killing the demons is that he is keeping his promise made in the Bhagavad Gita. And he makes 3 promises in the Bhagavad Gita. He actually makes so many promises, but in this connection, he makes 3 promises. Paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya cha dushkritam, dharma samsthapanarthaya, sambhavami yudhe. So the 3 promises that Krishna makes in this verse is that in every age I descend, from time to time I come here, and what do I do? Why do I come? To deliver or to protect the devotees, number 1. Paritranaya sadhana. Second, to destroy the miscreants. Vinashaya cha dushkritam. And third, to establish the principles of dharma or religion. Dharma samsthapanarthaya. Now let's look at the killing of demons. Why does Krishna have to kill demons? Why does he promise that I will come down and kill the demons? Because the demons by nature always create a disturbance. They never live peacefully themselves, and they never let others live peacefully also. So demons are the ones who by their own nature try to create an imbalance. In one verse Krishna says, Etam drishtamavashtabhya nashtatmanopabuddhaya prabhavantyugra karmanah kshayaya jagato hitaha. He says, Etam drishtamavashtabhya, accepting such a vision of life. What kind of vision of life? There is no God. This world is only meant for enjoyment. Enjoyment and lust is the only foundation for everything in the world. I must enjoy life. Even if necessary, I have to subdue others, to kill others. And the tendency to accumulate more and more. So someone who has this kind of vision of the world and an approach to life is called a demon. So the demons by nature, they like to disturb, they take pleasure in disturbing the nature or the harmony of this world. So therefore it is necessary for them to be killed. So sometimes Krishna lets the laws of material nature do the needful. Sometimes he gets the demons themselves to fight each other and kill them. Sometimes he empowers the devotees to do the needful. And sometimes he himself comes to be needful. And the killing of demons is not necessary only because they disturb the natural order, but also because it is necessary to establish religious principles. And demons are the ones who destroy religious principles as well.
Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur states, the aspiring devotee should always pray loudly to the all-powerful Lord Hari to drive out these evils. By doing so, his heart will be purified. If a devotee cries out humbly and sincerely to Lord Shri Krishna to remove these demonic qualities, which are represented by the demons killed by Lord Krishna, then Shri Krishna himself will remove those evils. But the devotees must personally work to drive out the anarthas represented by the demons killed by Lord Balaram. This is a mystery of Vraj Bhajan. The aspirant must personally remove these strong impediments with his best care and efforts, and by obtaining the mercy of Krishna. If the devotee's humility becomes very deep and intense, Krishna will be merciful. In that case, the feeling of Lord Baladev will arise in his mind and quickly destroy these demonic qualities. The child-killing Putin demon was summoned by Kamsa to kill baby Krishna. Instead, baby Krishna sucked her very life force out by merely sucking on her breast. The demoness represents false and bogus gurus who pollute the minds of truth seekers by their poisonous philosophies and false appearance. The cart demon, Sakatasura, was a ghost who had taken shelter of the handcart and was looking for the opportunity to do mischief to Krishna. When Krishna kicked the cart with his small and very delicate legs, the ghost was immediately pushed down to the earth and his shelter dismantled. This demon represents carrying the burden or cartload of old and new bad habits, lethargy and vanity. Trina verta, the whirlwind demon. One of the servants of Kamsa, Trina verta, appeared in Vrindavan in the shape of a whirlwind. He picked the child up on his shoulders and raised a great dust storm all over Vrindavan. The Trinavarta demon who took baby Krishna on his shoulder went high in the sky. Baby Krishna caught hold of his neck and began to weigh down the demon. Trinavarta felt the baby to be as heavy as a big mountain, and he tried to get out of his clutches, but he was unable to do so, and his eyes popped out from their sockets. Crying very fiercely, he fell down to the ground of Vrindavan and died. This demon represents false pride, which comes from material scholarship that leads to bogus philosophies. Once, when Krishna and Balaram were playing on the bank of the Yamuna, a demon of the name Vatsasura assumed the shape of a calf and came there intending to kill the brothers. Krishna, however, specifically noticed this, and he immediately told Balaram about the entrance of the demon. Krishna caught hold of the demon calf by the two hind legs and tail, whipped him around very forcibly, and threw him up into a tree. The demon lost his life and fell down from the top of the tree to the ground. This demon represents childish mentality, which gives rise to greed and results in wicked mischievousness. One day, while playing on the bank of the river Yamuna, Krishna and Balaram, along with their friends, saw a huge animal which looked something like a stork and was as big as a hill. The name of this beast was Bakasura, and he was a friend of Kamsa's. He attacked Krishna with his pointed, sharp beaks and quickly swallowed him up. But when the Bakasura demon was swallowing up Krishna, he felt a burning, fiery sensation in his throat. This was due to the glowing effulgence of Krishna. Krishna then caught hold of the beaks of the great, gigantic stork and, before his cowherd boyfriends, bifurcated his mouth, just as a child very easily splits a blade of grass. This demon represents cunning duplicity, deceptiveness, and false type of behavior. One day, when Krishna with the other cowherd boys was enjoying picnic in the forest, Aghasura, the younger brother of Putana and Bakasura, appeared there, desiring to kill Krishna and his companions. The demon assumed the form of a python, expanding himself to a length of 8 miles and the height of a mountain, his mouth seeming to extend from the surface of the earth to the heavenly planets. Krishna's friends, the cowherd boys, entered the mouth of that gigantic figure, thinking it to be a beautiful cave. Krishna, being aware of the demon's true identity, also entered the mouth of the gigantic Asura, and when he was within the demon's mouth, along with his friends, he expanded his body to such an extent that the Asura suffocated and died. This demon represents cruelty and violence. The cowherd friends of Krishna and Balaram requested them to kill the ass demon Dhenukasura, who was living in Talavana, so that they could collect the fruits growing on the trees there. Upon entering Talavan, Balaram killed the ass demon and his associates. This demon represents gross materialistic intelligence and ignorance of spiritual knowledge. One day, when Krishna and Balaram were playing with their friends in the forest, the demon Pralambasura assumed the form of a cowherd boy and joined their game, pretending to be their friend. He carried Balaram on his shoulder and started taking him away. Quickly understanding that he was being carried away from his friends by the demon who intended to kill him, he immediately struck the head of the demon with his strong fist. Being stricken by the fist of Balaram, the demon fell down dead. This demon represents lusty inclinations and desire for personal gains and honor. Once a demon named Aristasura entered the village like a great bull with a gigantic body and horns, digging up the earth with his hooves. All the inhabitants of Vrindavan, including the cows, became extremely fearful. Seeing this, Krishna appeared before Aristasura and challenged him. The demon became angry and, digging his hooves in the ground, charges towards Krishna with full might. Krishna immediately caught hold of the demon by his horns and immediately threw him on the ground, breaking his horns. Krishna then began to kick his body. Being thus kicked by Krishna, Aristasura rolled over and began to move his legs violently. Bleeding and passing stool and urine, his eyes popped from their sockets and he died. This demon represents pride arising from indulging in false religions invented by cheaters that cause neglect of devotional service. After being instructed by Kamsa, the demon Kesi assumed the form of a terrible horse. He entered the area of Vrindavan, his great mane flying and his hooves digging up the earth. Krishna saw that the demon was terrifying all the residents of Vrindavan with his whining and his tail wheeling in the sky like a big cloud. The Lord stood before the Kesi demon. Kesi rushed toward Krishna with his mouth open. As soon as Kesi reached him, Krishna pushed his hand within the horse's mouth. The horse felt great pain because the arm of Krishna felt to him like a hot iron rod. Immediately his teeth fell out. Krishna's hand within the mouth of the horse at once began to inflate, and Kesi's throat choked up. The demon began to suffocate, and thus the vital force of his life expired. When the horse was dead, his mouth became loose, and Krishna could extract his hand without difficulty. This demon represents pride of a false guru who considers himself a great devotee and a great spiritual master. One day when Krishna and his friends were playing on the Govardhan hill, a demon known by the name of Vyomasura, the demon who flies in the sky, appeared on the scene. Vyomasura took away almost all the boys and put them in the caves of the mountain and sealed the mouths of the caves with stones. Krishna could understand the trick the demon was playing. Therefore, he caught hold of him and immediately thrown on the ground with great force and killed, just as an animal is killed in the slaughterhouse. After killing the Vyoma demon, Lord Krishna released all his friends from the caves of the mountain. This demon represents false avatars.